I knew about Jay-Z that he came to LA a few times, and Dre and Snoop and Dre told him that when you're on the West Coast, you wrote a song for me, don't worry about nothing. Next thing I know, he was taped up, robbed, and gagged.
Bad news just dropped for Beyonce. And it's not looking cute. Suge Knight's out here talking, and now there's drama brewing at Paris Fashion Week too. But first, let's dive into Queen Bey's latest hiccup, because this one's raising eyebrows across the industry. The LA Times just released a report saying there are still tons of cheap seats left for Beyonce's upcoming Cowboy Carter tour. And for someone of her level, that's wild. This ain't some random blog reporting it either. It's the LA Times, and they're making it clear. The tour isn't pulling the numbers people expected. Now remember, this is the same Beyonce who crushed the game with her Renaissance tour, selling out arenas left and right. That show was massive, with tickets getting snatched in minutes. But this time, not the same story. According to multiple sources, ticket prices in major cities like LA are dropping, and seats are still wide open, which is super rare for her. The article highlights that tickets for her 5-night run at SoFi Stadium in Southern California, kicking off April 28th, are still up for grabs. And get this, they're going for as low as $60. That's practically unheard of for a Beyoncé show. Similar prices are popping up nationwide and even in international markets like the UK. That's a major shift from what we saw last year. And while this new album taps into country roots and Texas vibes, Beyoncé's skipping over key country music cities like Nashville, which fans find kinda confusing. Live Nation is claiming a 94% sellout rate. But let's be real, the flood of resale tickets at bargain prices says otherwise. People are either second-guessing their purchases or just not feeling this era the same way. Throw in fears of a possible recession and the fact that everything's getting more expensive lately. And yeah, fans might just be choosing their wallets over concert nights. Some music festivals are seeing a slight dip in demand lately, but let's be real. Other major tours like Oasis and Olivia Rodrigo aren't having the same kind of struggle Beyoncé is facing right now. So what's really going on here? People are wondering if this slow ticket movement is because of the shaky economy, an oversaturated tour market, or if it's got more to do with Cowboy Carter not hitting the same outside of awards season hype. There's buzz, but it's clearly not converting into sold-out stadiums. Now with LA Times putting this story out in the open, Beyoncé's team is definitely not happy. Her PR squad is likely already in motion, probably gonna announce a new Las Vegas tour date soon to make it seem like demand's still sky high. Classic damage control, but even with that move, it's hard to ignore the facts. Plenty of people who bought tickets, they're now trying to resell them, and that's a red flag. And let's be honest, none of these stadiums look fully sold out like her Renaissance tour was. Back then, fans were fighting just to get a seat. This time, ticket prices are dropping like crazy and seats are still wide open. Yeah, the economy's tight. Folks are being more careful with their spending. But even so, skipping states like Nashville for a country-inspired album? That's wild. Nashville could have been a total win. Fans there would have shown up and showed out, no question. And here in the UK, it's kinda quiet. Country music doesn't hit as hard over here. And let's be real, people just saw Beyoncé tear it up during her Renaissance tour in 2023. So the hype just ain't the same right now. Yeah, the Renaissance tour was a whole moment. Sold out, vocals on point, energy unmatched. Beyoncé gave it her all, no doubt. But let's be real, she just wrapped that tour not long ago. Fans are still recovering from those ticket prices. Now, throw in an economic recession and a world full of political chaos, and it's no surprise folks are thinking twice before spending big again. People are tapped out. They already saw her live. They already gave their coins. And now she's back with a whole new vibe that not everybody's feeling. Cowboy Carter is a bold move into country territory, but it's not being embraced like her previous albums. It's a risk, and right now it's showing. And the fact that it's the LA Times, not some random gossip blog, reporting this, that hits hard. It shows this isn't just fan speculation or online hate. There's clearly something deeper going on behind the scenes. This drop in excitement isn't just about a few unsold seats. It's a shift in momentum. People are thinking, I just saw you and now you're doing country? That's not really my thing. Plus, my wallet's hurting right now. So yeah, fans are choosing to hold off, and Beyoncé's team is definitely not loving this coverage. You can bet they're scrambling to shift the narrative and make it look like everything's still hot. But when LA Times is doubling down, that's a tough one to spin. And just when you think it couldn't get messier, here comes Suge Knight, and he's got smoke for Kanye West. He's calling him out for dragging Jay-Z and Beyoncé's kids into drama. Suge said straight up, "We never disrespect no one's kids. You don't talk about Jay and Beyoncé's children and call them..." And he left no room for confusion. He's clearly not playing around. You don't say the R word. That's where we draw the line. That's what Suge Knight made crystal clear. He's not joking about it either. He says there are real consequences when people cross that line. Suge made it known he holds folks in hip-hop, especially from his own community, to a higher standard. He said, "We came a long way as Black people, from slavery to now, and we're not about to let that progress slide by disrespecting kids or people with disabilities." He didn't find it funny at all. But Suge didn't stop there. He turned the heat all the way up. He flat out called Kanye a coward and even said Kanye needs an old-fashioned whooping. Suge is in prison, yet somehow he's the one out here trying to be the moral voice. Yeah, this is the same man who ran someone over and is locked up for it, on purpose. But now he's out here dragging major names like it's nothing. And truth be told, people are kinda here for it. Suge's been going in on Diddy, Kanye, and even Snoop. And he's doing it with zero hesitation. This man has nothing to lose, so he's speaking from the chest with no filter. And honestly, when it comes to this specific issue, a lot of people are agreeing with him. Children should be off limits. Why is Kanye even dragging kids into his mess? It's wild. Suge's point hits hard. Whether it's Jay-Z and Beyoncé's kids or anyone else's, bringing minors into the mix is a major no-go. Especially right now, when the internet's still heated over those serious accusations aimed at Diddy. You can't say you care about protecting kids on one hand, then turn around and clown other people's children. That hypocrisy doesn't sit right, and Suge called it out loud and clear. The way Kanye did what he did? Straight up disgusting. And the wildest part? Suge Knight, of all people, is the one stepping up to say something. He's not here for Kanye's antics at all, and he's calling him out hard. Suge is making it clear that the threats Kanye's throwing out, he's not with it. Now, let's be real. Kanye's probably not gonna clap back. Responding to Suge doesn't benefit him at all. There's no upside. It won't help his image, his rollout, or that new album drop. Kanye's smart when it comes to media moves. He doesn't crash out randomly. These rants always seem to pop up right before an album release. And if you think that's just a coincidence, nah, don't play yourself. He's got a pattern. Stir up chaos, get the headlines buzzing, and then drop the music. It's marketing, just messy and reckless. His latest project, Bully, dropped right after all that wild behavior. And it's too on the nose to ignore. Kanye knows exactly what he's doing. The drama builds hype, and that hype turns into streams. Even DJ Academics said there was an interview with Kanye ready to go. But now? Crickets. It still hasn't been released, and no one knows why. Maybe it's too hot to drop. Maybe Kanye's team is holding it back. Either way, something's up. Meanwhile, TMZ is on a whole different beat. They've got a new doc titled TMZ Presents: The Downfall of Diddy, and it's getting intense. In the documentary, they ran a mock jury. Yeah, a fake courtroom setup with regular people who were shown both sides. Evidence against Diddy and in his favor. Then they voted on what they believed his fate should be. And the results? Let's just say, y'all are definitely gonna be shocked. So, here's how it went down. The mock jurors heard both sides. The prosecution laid out their case. The defense fired back, and things got heated over some key points. One big question: whether the prosecution can actually prove that Diddy profited off the alleged behavior. And the other issue that really split the room? Consent. That was a major sticking point. His accusers? 3 of his ex-girlfriends. And then things got even more layered when race became part of the discussion. This mock trial wasn't just surface-level drama, it dove deep into how these kinds of high-profile cases are judged by everyday people. Now here's the kicker. If this mock jury is anything close to what we might see in Diddy's real trial this May, the prosecution's path is far from easy. This isn't gonna be some quick, open and shut case. But despite all the back and forth, the mock jury still came through with a verdict. They voted guilty. So what does that mean? Well, while it's not an actual courtroom verdict, this practice trial is meant to give a taste of how a real jury might react. They tried to pick regular people who didn't have much knowledge of Diddy's personal life, which, let's be honest, is a challenge in itself. But somehow, they pulled it off, and everyone agreed he was guilty. That could be a bad sign for him. It might not hold weight in court, but it definitely sets a tone. And just when you thought things couldn't get any messier, let's slide over to Paris Fashion Week real quick. There's some fresh beef bubbling between Bella Hadid and her former bestie, Fai. Something clearly went down behind the scenes, and now the tension is straight up icy between them. So while Diddy's legal shadow looms and Beyoncé's tour hits unexpected bumps, the drama in Paris is turning heads for a whole different reason. Because now the spotlight's on Bella Hadid and Fai, and the vibes are off. These two used to be inseparable, but something major clearly went down, and they're not even hiding the tension anymore. At one of the biggest Paris Fashion Week after-parties, Bella reportedly showed up solo. No Fai in sight. Sources say they were both invited, but purposely arrived at different times to avoid running into each other. That's not just coincidence, that's planned shade. And people at the event noticed fast. Fai was later seen hanging out with a whole new circle, including a couple of influencers who've publicly shaded Bella in the past. Now fans are piecing together clues from IG stories, and it's looking like some serious betrayal may have happened. Word on the street is that Fai may have linked up with someone very close to Bella, romantically or business-wise. And that's what sparked the fallout. And to make it even juicier, Bella unfollowed Fai just days after they were last seen together, smiling for the cameras like everything was fine. Not a word has been said publicly, but insiders claim Bella feels like she was stabbed in the back and she's cutting ties for good. Now, the fashion girlies are picking sides, and the drama is trickling into brand deals, runway seating arrangements, and social media alliances. Paris might be about couture, but this season, it's giving straight-up soap opera. And let's not forget, in this industry, when besties break up, the whole scene feels the aftershocks. And just when you think the fashion world's done delivering chaos, boom, another twist. Now, it's not just Bella and Fai caught up in tension. Kylie Jenner is officially back in the drama spotlight after a runway moment went all the way left. At a major Paris Fashion Week show, Kylie rolled in late, dripping in custom couture, of course. But what really got people talking wasn't the outfit. It was the cold energy between her and Hailey Bieber. These two were once thick as thieves, always on each other's socials, jet-setting, glam selfies, the whole thing. But at this show, not even a glance exchanged. Sources at the venue say Kylie was seated just 2 rows behind Hailey, and they completely avoided each other the entire night. No hello, no nod, nothing. Fans noticed Hailey didn't even repost the brand's after-party shots that featured Kylie. And that silence? Loud. What's fueling the feud? Well, insiders are whispering that it might have something to do with Kendall Jenner's situationship with Bad Bunny. Apparently, Kylie didn't vibe with how fast Hailey cozied up to Kendall's ex. Not in a romantic way, but in that "I'm still hanging with your ex like we cool" kinda way. Messy. Now here's the real kicker. Both Hailey and Kylie have dropped super subtle shade on social media, Cryptic quotes, muted unfollows, even weird timing with product launches clashing on purpose. Coincidence? Doesn't look like it. It's giving silent war. No screaming matches, just strategic moves, cold shoulders, and unfriendly smiles in the front row. Paris Fashion Week might be about designers, but this season, the real show is the celeb chessboard. And Kylie versus Hailey? Yeah, that's a whole new headline waiting to explode. So here's where things go from shady to straight-up chaotic. Fai, who's not just close to Bella Hadid, but also tight with Kylie and Kendall Jenner, is now at the center of major drama. And it all went down during Paris Fashion Week this month. According to eyewitnesses, Fai and Bella got into a heated verbal fight at a high-profile event, and it got intense fast. They were not quiet about it either. Sources say the two were arguing loud enough for other guests to notice, and when it ended, they walked away, not speaking, completely done with each other. Now, here's the part that's got everyone talking. Multiple witnesses told TMZ that Fai snapped. He reportedly went off on Bella, verbally berating her in front of people, and even raised his hand over her in an aggressive way. No physical contact happened, but folks around them said the energy was scary. Bella looked uncomfortable, and it was clear the situation was spiraling. Cops weren't called, but several guests at the party weren't having it. They went straight to YSL execs and filed complaints about Fai's behavior. That's how wild it got. People in fashion don't usually speak up unless it's serious. And this definitely hit that level. What triggered the blow-up between these two is still unclear, but it's giving long-standing tension finally boiling over. No one even knew they had beef like that. And for Fai to act so out of line, especially towards someone like Bella Hadid, at an elite Fashion Week event, that's career-risking behavior right there. Whatever happened behind the scenes, it's clear this feud is real, and it's not cooling off anytime soon. She reportedly told him straight up, "Leave me alone." But he didn't back off, not even a little. Multiple guests were visibly uncomfortable with how Fai was acting. It was like something just snapped in him. The way witnesses describe it, he was crashing out in real time, losing all control in front of cameras, celebs, and industry power players. These two were supposed to be longtime friends, close enough to keep things classy even during tension. But now, it's looking like that friendship has turned into a full-blown verbal war, and it all exploded in front of Paris Fashion Week's elite crowd. Now let's be real. Arguments happen, especially when there's history involved. But raising your hand at a woman, that crosses every line. That's not just messy. That's dangerous. If it had been between two guys, maybe it's just ego. But a man raising his hand in aggression toward a woman, that's where we don't stay silent. There's no excuse for it, no spin, no heat of the moment. That kind of energy is not okay. Not in fashion, not in real life, nowhere. So what do y'all think went down between them? What could have pushed a longtime friendship to this breaking point? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about it. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more daily drama, real tea, and non-stop updates. Every click helps this channel grow, and if you feel like showing extra love, feel free to send a tip. It truly goes a long way, and it's always appreciated.